Well, that was the women's championship match. And of course, Jim, a big steel cage match for the AEW World Championship. The champion Hangman Adam Page versus Samoa Joe.
And now we're 4 hours into the show, plus the pre-show. And here comes the cage. And Brian, usually in the course of not just any particular company, but it's as a general course in wrestling, you can kind of figure if you're a longtime fan, they're building this is going to, this is going to be the one. This is going to be the guy's going to win the title. And they went past that point a couple of times with Moxley when everybody's like, this ought to be it. That ought to be it. And he didn't lose. All of a sudden here, Samoa Joe, the babyface beats him clean in their first match. Then he switches heel. And then I can't remember what they did last time. And then now, did you see that this was going to be the climax of Hangnail Adam Page's, triumphant reign as champion? That now was going to be did it seem like that they had built this up where this would be the end of the road for little Rico there?
I mean, looking back now, I guess maybe you could argue they had beaten Samoa Joe so much in the feud that you couldn't believe he would actually lose again. He bled as much as I've ever seen him bleed by far. But I guess we'll get there.
Well, and that's the thing is, I didn't call this. I'm not arguing. I said beforehand, I'd love to see Samoa Joe win the belt from this fucking goof, but it didn't seem like that they peaked this to where most people believed it was going to happen, which is why they pay to see things. But nevertheless, Joe got color 3 minutes in. And then Page took his cowboy boot and hit Joe over the head 12 times with the heel of his boot and covered Joe and got a 1 count. Even if it's Page, who I think is Drek, these baby faces are all so weak. And there was nothing for him to do in this match that hadn't been done already. And it's 2 guys in a cage. They're going to bleed and they're not going to, it's just Page, I guess, but I don't like any of his matches. He does the same shit. Joe's great when he's got as a heel, when he has a smaller, sympathetic baby face that knows how to work, but this was just, Joe bled so much. At one point I was thinking, he didn't really do anything to deserve this. Page has beat him every fucking time. What horrible thing is, and now he's about to die of blood loss. The fans were kind of getting on his side. And Page was bleeding too, but not as bad. But
no, with Joe, you could see it pumping out every time he was taking a breath. Yeah.
But that's the thing is, besides the bleeding, not much happened in this fucking match. Then Shapoopy came out and got the title belt and climbed the cage, but Kingston came out and jerked him down. And while that was going on, literally because they missed it with the camera, they bumped the referee. And Page got a cover, but no referee was there to count it. So Hobbs came out. And I swear to God, they tried to recreate Kane ripping the cage door off. And what we got was Hobbs grabbing the chain with the big padlock that was chaining the door closed and just pulling for a second, and the gimmick chain broke. You couldn't believe it. It was too easy. The idea is not to just clip it and stick it together with toothpaste. It's rig it where it's a struggle, but the giant beast gets the... Anyway, he ripped the door open, but then Page beat Hobbs up. But then Joe got a sleeper on Page, but Page ran him into the turnbuckle. Page hit him with a buckshot lariat and covered him. There's still no referee. Then Hook comes in and picks up the title belt and turns around and hit Page with the title belt and takes his jacket off, and he's got an ops shirt on. So all the time that he was telling Joe that he was mad at him because they turned on him and left him alone or whatever, now he's gone back to the ops, who apparently have the entire outlaw mud show crew of New Jersey in their dojo. And Joe gave Page a muscle buster on the belt and covered him 1, 2, 3 and won the title, but it was not a good match. And it was a rotten finish. And at least Page is not the champion anymore. I can only assume that even Tony realized. Or do you think they do realize? Or do you think it was just time for somebody else to win it? Or did Tony realize that Adam Page was a shitty world champion?
I don't know if Tony realized that. I don't think I can concede that. No. I think they have an idea. I mean, we'll talk about the post-match in a moment. You know, again, I said it earlier. There are matches with a lot of blood that I love. This card had too much blood. This match, Samoa Joe, however he hit it. I mean, it was gushing like 10 minutes after it started gushing. There's blood everywhere. So I don't know. You're almost immune to it in a sense, but it feels like we're getting more and more, not just more matches with blood, but more blood in the actual matches.
Well, they got to outdo what they've done because they've already established a baseline of complete chaos and carnage. So then how do you improve on that? This is the corner they've been working toward for 6 years. They've lost most of their legitimate main event talent. Many others are hurt. The booking has led to they just do the same shit for hours at a time, to dwindling returns based on people getting tired of seeing the same shit all the time. And then, can we go to what happens next? Now they've got a brand new world champion. The lights go out, and there's a video on the screen of a burning house. And here comes Prince Nana out on the stage for a big laser light show. And Swerve comes out. Swerve Strickland to a new but still shitty entrance song. And he strolls to the ring with Nana dancing. And Stacy had walked in the room while I'm watching this. And it took him so long to get to the ring. I asked her, I said, how old is Nana? He's going to blow up from dancing. Swerve is the fucking athlete. He's just walking like he don't give a shit. And Nana's trying to put the whole thing in the dancing. Page was still laying there in the ring. It's been 5 minutes since he got beat, but he's still laying there because they want to paint a dramatic picture and they have no idea in their heads when they go over this shit verbally how long all this shit's going to take. And nothing happened. Swerve took off his jacket and stared at Joe. And then all the ops dojo members who are standing there in the t-shirts, they just start feeding Swerve while Joe jumps out of the ring and leaves. And Swerve beats up the op stooges, who obviously are letting him and feeding him one at a time to do this stuff forever. And then Page got up and clotheslined one of them. And they played music, and that was it. And Stacy, what did I just watch? Is this a parody? What the fuck is happening?
It's a big moment. Swerve and Adam Page on the same side, reunited. He even had the burning house in the video to celebrate the good times.
Yeah, and beating up fucking 12 guys we've never seen before.
You heard the pop from the crowd in the dark because I guess they had to get Nana out on the stage and he, glitters. So they saw him out there. He was doing the same dance he was doing for the other song with this song. Like, he didn't mix it up at all. It's just, okay, another song I'll do the exact same thing to. He's got to be at least 55. But,
Oh, come on. He's not that old.
I think so. What, you think that's that? I don't think it's that old. 50 is the new, 30.
Well, I'll tell you what, 64 is fucking awful goddamn old either way.
Swerve Strickland, an AEW star, returns. Now you have the Ops, I guess, established maybe a little more as a top heel faction, with Hobbs as the chain-busting power man and Samoa Joe as the devious world champion and Hook as the kid. Shibata as the...
It used to be Jackie Coogan. Now it's Hook.
That's right. That's right. With Hook. We always talk about Tony doubling down on the things that, like, why? Maybe they'll prove me wrong. Maybe Hook will have a heel run here where you finally see it. But why would you be giving Hook a main spot like this right now? But that was AEW. Oh, go ahead.
It fits the story. It fits the story that Tony wrote in his head, that he comes back too often, and he thinks everybody... Tony not only thinks, because of his condition, that everybody can store as many meaningless, trivial, and obscure factoids and happenings and callbacks and remembrances in their minds as he can in his. And he thinks they're hanging on every bit of it because he's telling these compelling stories to himself. And when you watch them in front of you, they come out as gibberish because you don't have the same luxury that Tony did of thinking it up and understanding it.
Well, celebrating 6 years of Tony Khan the Booker, AEW Full Gear in Newark, New Jersey.